The door slams shut with finality that echoes through the entire room. 30 pairs of eyes lock on me simultaneously, and I feel the weight of every single stare pressing down on my shoulders. The lead auditor, a woman in charcoal with gray hair pulled tight, stands at the front of the conference room and points at the projected spreadsheet with a laser pointer that trembles slightly in her hand. These timestamps were altered. Signatures forged. This points directly to Ms. Catherine Hayes. Gasps ripple across the table like a wave. Someone drops a pen and it clatters across the mahogany surface. My colleague Keith sucks in a breath so sharp it sounds like pain. My boss, Richard Lang, sits at the head of the table like he's been carved from stone. Arms crossed, left leg bouncing slightly. The faintest smirk playing at the corners of his lips. He doesn't defend me. Doesn't interrupt the auditor's accusations. Doesn't correct her methodology. Doesn't say a single word on my behalf. He just watches me with cold, patient eyes. Heat crawls up my neck and spreads across my face. I can feel people staring, waiting for me to react, waiting for tears or protests or explanations. But I don't give them anything. Keep my face blank. Hands folded in my lap. My breathing steady and controlled. Not one word leaves my mouth. Inside my chest something clicks into place. A lock opening. A door swinging wide. A realization that lands with the weight of stone in still water. This isn't random. This isn't a mistake or misunderstanding. This is targeted. This is deliberate. And he's letting it happen. He's watching it happen. He's participating in my destruction by doing absolutely nothing. Richard walks into my corner office without knocking, coffee in hand. Alex, your lead on the federal compliance overhaul. Biggest project this quarter. Don't let me down. I nod, already pulling up the shared drive. 16-hour days follow. Weekends disappear. I verify every document, cross-check signatures, build the framework the examiners will use to audit our entire department. This is the work that gets noticed. The work that leads to promotions. The work that matters. Later that day, Richard emails the executive team. I open it expecting my name to be featured prominently. Credit to the team. Especially my oversight on the initial architecture and strategic positioning. My name doesn't appear once. I read it 3 times, waiting for a mention that never comes. I screenshot it anyway. Some small voice whispers, "Keep this." A red flag waves in my mind, but I brush it off. Loyalty, I tell myself. We rise together. Back in the conference room. Time has collapsed and reformed. The auditor clicks to slide 14. My name appears beside every red-flagged entry. Every single one of them. Email headers. Timestamps. Signature blocks. Digital footprints that allegedly prove I'm the criminal. We need an explanation, Ms. Hayes. Can you account for these alterations? Silence stretches across the table like an ocean. Count the seconds in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody moves. Nobody breathes. The conference room feels like it's closing in around me, the walls pressing inward, the air becoming thicker. Richard finally speaks. He doesn't speak to defend me. He doesn't speak to correct the auditor or question her methodology. He speaks to deliver the final betrayal with perfect precision. I trusted her implicitly, he says. His voice heavy with disappointment and false concern. Past tense. Knife twist. Colleagues shift uncomfortably in their chairs. Some avoid my eyes entirely, suddenly very interested in their notebooks. Others stare directly at me, and I can see the judgment forming behind their pupils. The narrative is already being written in their minds, and I'm the villain. My pulse doesn't race. It steadies. I've been watching Richard for months without him knowing it. I notice his left hand tapping the table, a nervous tick he only shows when he's truly cornered, when he's afraid that someone might see through him. I memorized those original logs. Every single one. I know the metadata by heart. The metadata tells a different story than what's being presented here. One that doesn't include my login after hours. One that shows patterns Richard can't explain away. one that proves the truth. But I don't say any of this. I keep staring straight ahead, my face a mask of composure. Let them think I'm broken. Let Richard relax. Let him feel safe in his Richardy. Let him believe he's gotten away with it. That's when I do my most dangerous work. End of day 1. HR escorts me to my desk under the weight of 30 pairs of eyes. Whispers follow me like ghosts. People avert their gaze. Some stare openly. Judgment already formed before I can defend myself. Suspended pending investigation. They say softly, like they're delivering tragic news when really they're participating in professional execution. Pack slowly, deliberately, not rushing like a guilty person would. Not moving frantically like someone desperate to escape. My laptop, my notebook, the external hard drive I've kept backups on for 2 years. Insurance nobody knows about. Insurance I didn't even know I'd need. I slide everything into my bag methodically. I'm thinking clearly, precisely, about exactly what I need to prove my innocence. Richard walks past my desk, pauses, takes a breath, like he's making a decision about whether to speak to me. He leans against the cubicle wall, shaking his head slightly as if disappointed in me. Tough break, Alex. Wish you'd come to me sooner. His voice drips with fake concern. Honey coating poison. The tone of someone who wants to appear sympathetic while celebrating a Richardy. I meet his eyes for exactly 1 second. Long enough to see the relief there. The satisfaction. The Richardy already claimed in his mind. He thinks he's won. I understand, I say quietly. Then I close my laptop. I drive home in complete silence. No radio. No podcast. Just the sound of my engine and my heartbeat. Streets blur past. Traffic lights change. People walk down sidewalks living normal lives. At my kitchen table, under the glow of my laptop screen, I open the external drive. I navigate to a folder labeled Insurance. Hundreds of files. Thousands maybe. Every email Richard ever sent me. Every meeting transcript I recorded. Every log I downloaded out of caution. Every suspicious pattern I documented. Every screenshot I saved. This is where the Betrayal investigation begins. This is where I start building the case that will save my career. First discovery hits at 2 a.m. My kitchen is cold. Coffee long gone lukewarm. I'm running on adrenaline and clarity. An email chain from Richard to the external auditor, dated 3 weeks before the project launch. The subject line reads, Final Approval Protocol. His message is casual, professional, poisonous. Make sure final sign-off reflects department head approval only. Attached is the form. Attached. A blank approval form. But it's not blank, because my digital signature is already inserted. Already forged. My name is already there in the approval block. I wasn't even in the office that day. I pull up the security footage. Timestamp. 2:34 p.m. Catherine Hayes in a Target parking lot, buying a lamp for my sister's apartment. Have the receipt. Have the video. Have proof. But someone else was in the office using an old credential of mine. A password Richard had known since my first week of work. My stomach turns. This is deliberate. This is calculated. This isn't panic. This isn't someone who made a mistake and is covering it up. I find 3 more pieces of evidence. Each one more damning than the last. Richard didn't just forge my signature once. He did it multiple times. Each attempt refining the technique. Each time getting bolder. More confident. The metadata shows he practiced on test documents first, creating fake approvals, then deleting them when he thought they wouldn't be discovered. But he was wrong. Digital erasure isn't real erasure. Data lives in layers. In backup copies. In recovery files. In timestamps that prove when something was deleted and by whom. I pull my access logs. Cross-reference them with the timestamps on the forged documents. The patterns are undeniable. By 3 a.m., I've found 6 pieces of evidence. By 4 a.m. I've found 12. The timeline is becoming clear. The narrative is unfolding. The truth is emerging from the digital shadows. Next morning I call my old college friend, now in-house counsel at a competitor. We haven't spoken in 2 years. I need advice. Off record, I say. She hears the tone. Shifts to lawyer mode immediately. Hypothetically, if someone planted altered documents using your credentials, your digital signature, your login, what would you need to prove they did it? There's silence on the line. Then, chain of custody. Access logs showing when your account was accessed and from where. Timestamps. Metadata that doesn't match your activity patterns. Preferably a witness who saw the document created and saw you weren't present. And everything documented chronologically before you accuse anyone. I hang up, heart racing. Adrenaline flooding my veins. I remember Daniel, the night shift IT guy. He once complained in the break room about Richard overriding his password resets. Said Richard claimed emergency access. I create a burner app. Text him. Need to talk. Off company servers. Important. 3 dots appear. Then stop. Then disappear. Then reappear. Finally. Tomorrow. Parking lot. 7 a.m. 7:03 a.m. Daniel slides into my passenger seat. Hoodie up despite the warm weather. He's tired. Nervous. His hands are shaking slightly on his lap. Richard asked me to reset audit trail permissions last month. He says without preamble, like he's been rehearsing this in his head all night. Said it was for efficiency, cost-cutting, back-end cleanup. He swallows hard, his atoms apple bobbing. I logged the request. Company policy. Everything goes in the system. He hands me a USB drive. Black. Heavy with implication. Everything he touched after that reset is on there. Access logs. Authorization stamps. Timestamps. It's all documented. Every file he accessed. Every system he manipulated. It's all there. I don't thank him yet. Too early. Too dangerous. Too premature for anything but information. Why help? Ask, though I think I already know the answer. Daniel's jaw clenches. His hands ball into fists. Because he promised me your job when you left. Said there was a promotion in it. Assistant Director of IT Security. Told me the raise would happen in Q2. He laughs bitterly, a sound without humor. Then he ghosted me. Sent one email saying, timing isn't right. After you burned. We share a bitter laugh. The kind that tastes like poison and truth mixed together. He was going to use you to leverage me, I say. Get rid of both of us and take credit for everything. Yeah. Daniel nods. That's exactly what he was doing. Door shut. Engine starts. Daniel disappears into the morning fog. Another piece slides into place. Another thread in the net I'm building. Another witness who understands that Richard destroys everyone he touches. I spend the entire weekend building a timeline. Spreadsheet columns. Date/action/actor/evidence type/location/metadata. Every late night edit Richard made using my dormant credentials. Every email he BCC'd himself on for records. Every approval form he touched. Every file he accessed. Patterns emerge like constellations. He always touched files right after I left for the day. He always used the same terminal. His personal laptop, registered to his home network. He always cleared his browser history but never the server-side logs. He always sent follow-up emails to himself, timestamped to create false accountability. Arrogance mistake number 1. He never cleared the server metadata. Arrogance mistake number 2. He used the same phrase in 3 separate Richardy emails to the board. My team delivered under pressure. My team. Never our team. Never Alex and I. Just my team. Like I was infrastructure. Like I was a tool. I smile for the first time in days. A real smile. Cold. Focused. Because arrogance is predictable. And predictability is weakness. Monday. I'm still suspended, so I drive to the small coffee shop near headquarters. The place where we all used to grab lunch. Accidental run-in with Mia. the junior compliance analyst. She's sitting alone, staring at her phone like it might explode. She looks guilty when she sees me. "They're saying you went rogue," she whispers, leaning across the table. I lean in. Careful. Did Richard ever ask you to pull reports after hours? Compliance files. Audit materials. Her eyes widen. She nods slowly. Once. Said it was urgent board prep. Something time-sensitive. I pulled the reports and emailed them straight to him. Around 8 p.m. He said thank you and never mentioned it again. I nod calmly. My heart is hammering but my face is stone. Save that thread. Every email. Every attachment. Don't delete anything. The company investigation will want to see it. She nods back, scared but resolute. Are you going to be okay? Yes, I say. And I mean it. Another thread in the net. Another witness. Another piece of the puzzle that proves I wasn't working alone. That Richard orchestrated this entire scheme. Week 2 of suspension. I receive the official investigation notice. 47 counts of falsification. The number is meant to overwhelm. Meant to make me panic. I hire a lawyer quietly. She reads the charges and laughs once. Try. They overcharged. Makes dismissal easier when half collapse under scrutiny. We draft the response. No comment yet. Strategic silence. Let them think I'm broke. Let them think I'm considering a plea deal. Meanwhile, I cross-check Daniel's USB against company cloud backups I'd mirrored months ago. Just in case. Matches perfectly. Every timestamp. Every access log. Except one folder. One critical folder that Richard deleted from his side but not from the archive backup. Undelete command still works on the backend. I recover it. Inside, drafts of the forged approvals. 7 different versions. 7 attempts to get my signature perfect. His fingerprints all over the metadata. This is it. This is the hammer. I rehearse the silence. Every time a former colleague texts to check in, I reply with one emoji. Thumbs up. No details. No anger. No explanation. No narrative. No defense. They interpret it as defeat. As resignation. As someone who knows they're guilty and has accepted their fate. As someone broken by the weight of 47 federal charges. Perfect. This is exactly what I want them to think. This is exactly what Richard needs to believe. Because when people think you're defeated, they relax. When predators think their victims are broken, they stop watching. They stop being cautious. They start celebrating too early. Richard posts on LinkedIn. Proud to lead through challenging times. Team stronger than ever. The post includes a photo of him at his desk, looking competent and confident. Comments flood in like a tsunami. Congratulations. Heart emojis. Colleagues offering support and admiration. I screenshot every single one. Add them to my timeline under premature celebration. The board will love that slide. We'll see exactly how comfortable Richard became. How confident. How certain he'd won. How utterly convinced that his narrative was unshakable. The board loves documentation. Loves evidence of arrogance. Loves seeing predators hanging themselves with their own overconfidence. I add the screenshots to my master file. Pages 42 through 48. Each one a timestamp of his certainty. Each one proof that he believed he'd escaped accountability. Each one a nail in his coffin that he's driving in himself with every congratulatory response he accepts. The silence isn't weakness. The silence is strategy. The silence is a weapon more powerful than any confrontation could ever be. 3rd week. Internal rumor mill says Richard's angling for SVP. Senior Vice President. The position that was supposed to be mine in 2 years. The same week the federal agency threatens to pull funding over this serious breach. Pressure mounts. Lawsuits are being considered. Stock value is tanking. The board is panicking. Richard schedules an all-hands to address concerns. I'm not invited, of course. I'm the pariah. The suspected criminal. The reason we're all in this mess. But Mia live streams it to me from her phone under the table. Risk for her. Courage. Richard stands at the podium in his expensive suit. Confident. Composed. Rest assured, we identified the issue and acted swiftly. Compliance is my top priority. Always has been. No names. But everyone knows who he's talking about. Everyone knows who he's throwing away. His jaw twitches when he says, swiftly. Micro-expression. Fear breaking through. He's sweating. Under the studio lights, I can see sweat beading on his temples. He's starting to panic. He's starting to doubt. But let him worry. Let him lose sleep. I compile everything into one comprehensive document. 147 pages. Chronological. Irrefutable. Every email, login record, security camera still, recovered draft. Every text message. Every witness statement. Every timestamp. Indexed. Bookmark. Cross-referenced with color-coded tabs indicating evidence type and relevance. This isn't just a collection of facts. This is a narrative. This is a story that tells itself through evidence. Page 1 to 10. The initial project timeline and my work. Page 11 to 35. Richard's emails taking credit, with comparisons showing my actual contribution. Page 36 to 65. The forged documents with metadata analysis showing creation and modification times. Page 66 to 85. Server logs showing access patterns that contradict my presence. Page 86 to 110. Daniel's witness statement with supporting IT documentation. Page 111 to 130. Mia's email threads with timestamps proving Richard's manipulation. Page 131 to 147. The recovered deleted files showing Richard's drafts and practice attempts. My lawyer reviews it in her office, turning pages slowly, reading carefully, absorbing the scope of what I've built. Her expression shifts from neutral to amazed. This isn't defense, she says finally. This is offense. This is not just a case. This is multiple cases. This is fraud, forgery, conspiracy potentially. And more. I feel something settle in my chest. Not relief. Not Richardy. Clarity. What do we do now? Ask. We decide timing carefully. Wait until the investigation reaches the board escalation phase. Let Richard present his clean version first. Let him feel like he's winning. Let him relax completely. Let him commit to his narrative fully. Then drop the folder anonymously through the ethics hotline. Time-stamped, tracked, untraceable back to me. The system is designed to protect whistleblowers. It's bulletproof. I'll be anonymous. I'll have deniability. But the evidence will speak so loudly that deniability won't matter. The silence continues. The patience continues. Just a little longer. Investigation meeting number 2. I'm finally called in. Via video, still suspended. The investigation has been going on for 3 weeks. Richard sits beside the head of HR, looking composed. Prepared. Like he's already won. They ask why I never defended myself during the first meeting. Pause. 3 full seconds. Count them. I was gathering information, I say quietly. Richard snorts. Audible contempt. Convenient. I don't flinch. Don't speak again. Let them sit with the silence. Let them draw their own conclusions. They end the call. Tell me they'll be in touch. Later that night I see his email to the board. Final recommendation. Termination without severance. Evidence packet attached. Attached. His curated collection of evidence. Missing every file I have. Missing every proof. Missing the truth. Arrogance mistake number 3. He thinks he controls the narrative. He doesn't know there's another narrative coming. The ethics hotline submission window opens at midnight. I upload from a VPN in a library parking lot across town. File name. Compliance Integrity Report. Urgent. No sender name. No identifier. Just evidence. Within 90 minutes, the system logs 17 views. From board members. I know because I left a hidden tracking pixel in the metadata. Legal gray area. but deniable. At 1:47 a.m. my phone lights up. Unknown number. My heart stops. Voicemail. Play it. Richard's voice. Shaking. Not confident anymore. Scared. We need to talk. Please. I know this is you. I delete it. Don't respond. Let him sweat through the night. Let him realize that the ground beneath him is cracking. Let him understand that he's losing control. Next morning. All hands cancelled. Emergency board session instead. Rumors explode. Richard's on administrative leave. Federal investigation expanding. They found something. Mia texts. He looked pale. Like he couldn't breathe. I stay offline. Don't post anything. Don't comment. Don't exist publicly. Meanwhile, my lawyer's paralegal files the master file as a whistleblower supplement with the federal agency. They open a parallel review. Richard's name now appears in their subject line. Not as victim. Subject. The frame job reverses. He built a house of cards. And I just lit the match. Richard tries damage control. Company-wide email. Temporary leave to support family matter. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Attached. A photo of him smiling with his wife and children. Sympathy play. Family man in crisis. Within hours, anonymous comments appear on Glassdoor. Screenshots of his Team Stronger LinkedIn post resurface. People start connecting dots. Former employees comment. Someone digs up the news article about his quiet settlement at his previous company. The internet does what the internet does. It devours. Stock ticks down 3%. His arrogance finally costs real money. His golden parachute starts looking fragile. I receive the call I've waited for. Board chair's assistant. We'd like to speak with you confidentially. This afternoon. Can you come in? My heart accelerates but my voice stays steady. I can be there. What time? 2 o'clock. The Westbrook Hotel conference room on the 4th floor. In a neutral hotel conference room. 3 board members wait across from me. The board chair. The CFO. The general counsel. Expensive suits. Serious faces. They've read the file. They know. My lawyer sits beside me, quiet but present. Witnessing. Protecting. Supporting. I place the master file on the table between us. Comprehensive. Heavy. I never defended myself because I was building this, I say. Every allegation needed to be addressed with evidence. Not emotion. Not denial. Evidence. The board chair slowly opens the file. Pages begin to turn. As they read, I watch their faces change. Skepticism becomes concern. Concern becomes alarm. Alarm becomes horror. The CFO pulls out his phone. Makes a note. His jaw clenches. The general counsel's hand shakes slightly as she turns pages. This is extensive. Yes, my lawyer says calmly. My client has been thorough. By page 30, the board chair looks up at me. You did this alone. Yes. I couldn't involve anyone else without risking the integrity of the investigation. By page 60, faces are pale. By page 80, someone whispers, Jesus. By page 147, they understand. Richard didn't just make a mistake. He committed fraud deliberately, premeditated, calculated, and now they have to decide what to do about it. Richard's house of cards collapses in real time as they read. Email by email. Log by log. Every lie exposed. Every manipulation documented. Every piece of his narrative destroyed. Turns out Richard had done this before. At his previous company. They didn't press charges. Just a quiet settlement. No records public. The board thought he was clean. But my packet includes the old firm's internal memo. Obtained through a public records request I filed 6 weeks earlier, before the scandal even broke. I was planning ahead. The board connects the dots. Pattern of behavior. Predatory. Calculated. Criminal. A criminal referral is now inevitable. Richard's golden parachute evaporates. Richard shows up at my apartment building. Unannounced. Desperate. He knocks. Pounds really. I watch through the peephole. Disheveled. Hair uncombed. Is red. His suit is wrinkled. This isn't the Richard from the conference room. Alex, please. I can explain. His voice breaks. Open the door. I don't open it. Instead, I hit record on my phone. Place it near the door. Let him talk. He keeps talking through the wood. It was pressure from above. The board needed results. I never meant to frame you. It was supposed to be temporary. Then I was going to come clean. Lies. Lies. I save the audio. Add it as Exhibit 148. Then I call building security. He's escorted out 5 minutes later. Final board review. I attend in person. Dress sharp. Hair perfect. They ask one question. Why silence? Take a breath. Because shouting would have let him control the narrative. Evidence speaks louder than rage. Silence made him comfortable. Comfort made him arrogant. Arrogance made him leave fingerprints on everything. Nods around the table. My lawyer sits beside me quiet. Witnessing. Richard's termination is unanimous. Criminal charges recommended. Federal agency clears my name publicly within 48 hours. I'm reinstated with back pay, promotion to Director of Compliance Integrity, and a formal apology letter from the board read aloud. I nod once when they finish. Thank you, I say. The day after his firing, Richard's LinkedIn updates. Excited for new opportunities. Ready for the next chapter. Within hours, the post is flooded with comments. Not congratulations. Accusations. Former employees. Auditors. His old college roommate. They all show up. They all tell their stories. Someone posts the news article about his first scandal. Someone else posts screenshots of his company-wide emails, the ones where he took credit for teamwork. The pattern becomes undeniable. His professional identity burns in real time. I never comment. Never need to. The internet does the rest. Closure begins. I'm back at my desk. The same desk where they escorted me out. My name is on the door again. Director of Compliance Integrity. First Act. Mandatory access log training company-wide. Policies on credential security. Systems to prevent what Richard did. Richard's old office is reassigned. I walk past it daily. Door open. Lights off. Me. It doesn't feel like Richardy. Not yet. Feels like justice. 1 month later. Industry conference. I'm on a panel. Building trust through transparency. Audience includes several people from my old company. Colleagues who doubted me. During Q&A, someone asks about recent events. Smile. Not mean. Not cold. Just honest. Silence can be strategic when truth is on your side. Patience is a weapon. And evidence is louder than anything you can say. Polite applause. Respectful. Knowing. Afterward, former colleagues approach. Apologetic. We didn't know. We should have believed you. I nod once at each of them. No grudges. Just forward. Final scene. I sit at my new desk, window view of the city. Floor 42. Sunrise coming over the buildings. Gold light. New day. The office is quiet. Not the silence of suspension or fear. The silence of peace. The silence of someone who has survived and emerged stronger. I open my personal drive. Find the folder labeled Insurance. The entire case file. 147 pages of evidence. All the screenshots. All the recordings. All the metadata. All the proof. I pause before I touch it. This folder has been my companion through the darkest weeks of my professional life. It's been my weapon. My shield. My salvation. But now it's served its purpose. I delete it. Not out of fear. Fear is gone. Not out of legal concerns. My lawyer assured me I'm protected. Out of peace. Out of closure. Out of a need to let go. The evidence served its purpose. It transformed me from victim to survivor. Brought justice. Changed the company. It ended a predator's career. It protected future employees from his manipulation. I don't need to carry it anymore. I don't need to sleep with one eye open, waiting for retaliation. I don't need to hold on to my insurance policy. Close the laptop. Breathe. Long slow. For the first time in months, the silence feels like rituality, not a weapon. The quiet feels earned. Peaceful. I earned this silence. I built it brick by brick. Evidence by evidence. Strategy by strategy. Patience by patience. And no one, not Richard, not anyone else, not the past, not the trauma, can take it away. The sun rises higher. The city wakes up below me. Morning traffic starts moving. People begin their days. Normal life continues. I open a new document and start writing. Not evidence. Not accusations. Not revenge. A memo for the company. On compliance. On trust. On how to build systems that protect people. On how to create structures that make predators' jobs impossible. Because the best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's becoming someone too strong to ever be destroyed again.